Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to Touch Grass. I am joined again by L from FM33X. What's going on?
Nothing much. Enjoying myself on your pod. Enjoying these questions. Ready for the next one.
All right. Well, then let's just get right into it. How do you feel about the statement? A man looking for a wife is always more possessive and controlling than a man looking for hoes.
I feel like that's a loaded statement. I feel like, wow, who made that? Who made that statement?
Okay, full disclosure, I made that statement. But please
What
tell me what you think about it. I mean, just right off of that, and I'll explain it
crazy.
later in a minute.
Crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy enough to be true if I understood or understood what you meant by possessive. I do believe that a man looking for a wife is way more intentional than a man that isn't. So intentional, yes. And intentions can show up differently. It can look like, I know I want this woman. I know I want this. I'm going to go get this. I need this to show up in this way in order for me to have it. It can. Or it can be a situation where a man is just courting a woman and knowing that this is what I want. And I'm allowing the things to fall where they may. Like I'm allowing my efforts. And I believe, like, even what you said earlier, your security within yourself allows you to know that you're enough. What you're providing, not only for yourself, is enough, but it's attracted someone toward you that wants what you have. So when you're dealing with a man like that, I don't think that there's a real possession behind it. That's why I really wanted to dive into what possession really was and like try to define that because I think that there's a sense of possession of this is my woman. Like, I've made that leap. I decided that, hey, out of everybody out here, this is what I'm going to do with, my union. But outside of that, no, I think secure men make secure moves, strategic investments. So by the time that that is their person, like you said, no, I don't think that they have to think like that. I think that that's a tad bit, and I don't want to label anybody, but I want to say that there's a tad bit like narcissistic, like dominating mindset of when I think of the traditional meaning of possession. Yes, I think that that's more like a low vibrational mindset, like a man that wants a wife is way more possessive than a man. No, because then a man that just wants hoes, quote unquote, off, he's so possessive that he wants it all, in a sense. Nothing's ever enough. Resignation of the end is always the end. So that's my perspective for your loaded statement.
Okay. Well, it's definitely interesting, and I totally see it how you're putting it out. This is okay. This is why that question came up to me. This is why that thought came to my mind. It was a freaking meme on social media, and it was a woman looking at her boyfriend sleeping, and she had a frown on her face, looking disgusted. And the caption was, "When you just realized that he was out looking for hoes and he found me." And
Hey,
like that was the meme. It was like when you realize that one night he was out looking for hoes and he found me.
Mike, I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't. I'm telling you. I didn't know where you were gonna go, where you where you were gonna go with it. I wasn't ready for that. Say what? Okay.
And it made me think. And my thought, honestly, was like, you know what? That might be the best kind of man to have.
No, what?
Why? Why?
Why?
Because he.
Lord have mercy. Oh, what?
I mean, he was not looking for anything at all but a good time, and he saw you. Y'all hooked up, whatever. He fell for you, and now y'all are a couple sleeping in the same bed. I felt like, you know what? That's not even a reason to get mad. That just means he loves you.
Same
Eh,
meme.
mhm.
And the thought is, she was out looking for sugar daddy, and she found me. Did you? Do you? Do you have the same sentiment?
I think a sugar daddy and a hoe are two different things.
I mean, yeah, technically,
I mean, cause
sugar
when it
and the sugar and the guy that's eating the sugar, it coincides.
okay, okay, okay. But I guess that's where men and women differ. If you find a sugar daddy, you stay with him because he's giving you sugar. If you find a hoe, you smash and move on.
You've never found a good hoe that you stayed with. So you never cuffed the hoe. You never decided to keep her there like the meme.
Alright, yeah, I cuffed a couple of hoes, I can't even lie. Hey, no disrespect to anybody in their whole phase right now, it's all good.
First of all, can we just no disrespect to any of the hoes that he cuffed? Like, let me start there.
I love them too,
Uh,
they're the homies.
Mike has moved on to his last life as the cat that could not laugh, and he's just like, just laying it all out there.
I still love them, the hoes are the homies, HOEMIES, homies. So I respect them, I respect the game.
Time out. What is your sign? I have to know.
Believe it or not believe it or not, I'm a Cancer.
Look, make sure you pop that up for me. Give me a clip of that part, just that.
The sign? Yeah, okay,
Yeah, the sign, I believe it, because that's kosher. The fact that you're like, you have just enough spice and you have an emotional intelligence. You know what I mean? There's like a fire and water going on there. So totally understood. You're a land critter.
man, okay. I've never thought about it that way, but it actually makes sense. Okay. Yeah, but that's how I feel about it. I mean, hey, if you're in your whole phase, you're doing your thing, whatever, that's cool. My thing is when a man is looking for a wife, and I try to caution dudes when they talk about this, is don't get so caught up in your checklist that you miss out on true love. Cause that's what it really comes down to for me. It's like, okay, you want a girl who's cooked, cleans, who's submissive, who's only had so many partners, who looks like this, her titties are this big, her body, she weighs this much. Okay, I get it that people have standards, but don't get so caught up in your standards that you miss out on a person who's genuinely going to love you and you're going to love them. And that's kind of where I stand. That's kind of why I say what I say when I say looking for the hoes. You're going out, you're looking to smash, you're looking to have a good time. You're not even thinking about a relationship. And then you meet somebody and you're just like, whoa.
I guess that happens to men then. I wouldn't You're telling me things. You're telling me things.
Really? Is that new? Is that not something that happens to women? Like you go out, okay, you're just
No,
looking.
no. I mean, again, I cannot speak for all women. I'm a very strange woman.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. I just women are with little girls are taught that, this prince is gonna come swoop you off your feet. Even like the best stories say that. And even the worst of the worst stories are like, you need to make sure that you find a man that can help you and take care of you. So like either end of the spectrum, the riches of the rich, the poor of the poor, women are taught that again, men provide this, this, this. You need this in order to have this. And then you have the American dream in itself, and that's standard on top of that. So yeah, no, I think when women go out, there's a lot of women that have tricked themselves, in my opinion, out of our spots because we only do things for men. But then when men are not there, it's not being done. I know personally in my past I've struggled with stuff like that. So when a woman's going out, 9 times out of 10, it's she's gonna look good for a man that she's gonna want attention from. She's cool with it's more than one. I don't know a woman that's gonna complain about that. But
Mhm.
overall, I don't know a lot of women, even the most bare of bitter that will try to lie, that wouldn't be pleased with a man proposing to them. You understand what I mean? Because
Yes.
that's what the goal is taught. Yeah, that's my perspective, a bit of it anyway.
Yeah, that you're looking for a man that provides, a man that's gonna take care of you, that's gonna do things for you. So with women, oh, that checklist really matters. At least I'm not gonna say all women, but when you talk about what women are taught, the checklist is important.
It
But
is, Mike, just wanna say this really quickly, it is important with that if we do not start getting very flexible and quickly, that checklist is going to make it really, really hard for women to be able to get anything that they want. I'm talking about it's gonna go from a checklist to no list.
right.
Yeah.
because we're in a stage right now where women are actually making really good money, and if you're looking for a man that's going to provide for you and financially, a lot of women are making more money than the men these days. And if a woman is still looking for that guy that's going to be a provider, and I feel like as a man you can provide in other ways, as far as being security, as far as being emotional support and all these other things. I mean, that's the way I feel about it. But a lot of women do primarily see the financial part of it.
Yeah. Because as women, life is tough.
Yeah.
Life
Oh,
is
yeah.
tough. Like I said, even the most tough, and I'm a tough girl, very
Hmm.
capable of doing, by God's grace, the things that I need to on my own. Very capable of it. I'm grateful. With that, there is, and I remember someone told me this. I'll say that someone told me this, that there is a beauty in the balance between a man and a woman. There's a dance that goes on, and it happens regardless. It's just a dance that's happening. The beauty in it is if it's synchronized, if there's a rhythm, and if it's there's a flow, and each party gets a spotlight. Every every party has a support and a spotlight, if you will, where we trick ourselves out of our spots is we're not present for the dance. And by the time that we're not paying attention to the rhythm. We're on a whole nother beat. And I think that that has went really far for me, what I desire now and how I navigate things and different things like that. So even these topics, if you would have asked me these topics 2 years ago, 4 years ago, I wouldn't have been able to give you not even just the meat of it, but it would have just been coming from a whole nother perspective because I wasn't ready to be present for the dance and the balance, to even appreciate your perspective as a man. I think that's important. More conversations like this need to exist before we dive into real relationships with people and start like taking risky investments. I've learned that. And I've also learned that if, as a woman, if I am not ready to really, really step into what a man would need from me, then I really am not in a position to require anything from that.
Right. And that makes complete sense to me. From a male perspective, I can honestly say that when I met my fiance, I wasn't looking for anything. Okay. I was in whole phase chapter 5 at the time. Okay.
So tired of you already.
I was si I was single and loving it. But man, dude, it just hit me in a way that I still can't explain. Like, she took my heart and she became the only one for me, and that was it? It was all over. And, that's kind of why I look at it now, it's because I wasn't looking for anything. I didn't have a checklist. I didn't say, "Hey, you gotta be this, that, whatever, whatever." I mean, I was living free, and then I was like,
You didn't have a type, Mike.
yeah, I mean, of course, I had a type, I just wasn't looking for it, I was just doing my thing, and that made me wonder, it's like, these guys out there that are looking for their wife, like, when you meet someone that checks your boxes and you hook up, you date, you get married or whatever, it's like, do you even know if you genuinely love them?
Right.
Like, you can find someone that is everything that you wrote down on a list and you said that this is what you want. And then you meet that person and you hook up with them and it works out and y'all get married, but are you really in love? And that's a whole different question. That's a bigger
It's two different
question.
things.
Yeah.
Loving someone, infatuation, and being in love with someone is two different things. There's a process, I believe, to that. There's an investment, I believe, to that. There's risk. There's skin in the game. And yeah, you know,
Yeah.
buddy.
Oh yeah, I know. Like when you meet someone that's your real partner, that you're gonna go through all the battles together. That's a whole different thing. That is a whole different thing. You might find out that it doesn't matter that, you know, she has a different breast size than what you were looking for, or that she had more partners than you might have been comfortable with, or that her nose is different from what you had in mind. You might realize that none of that stuff even mattered.
And then
And
what?
what matters is that she's riding with you. She's gonna ride or die with you. Period. Like that's it. And the question is, are you gonna be the guy that's gonna do the same for her? And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. That is all that matters. And I'll take that to the grave. I'll argue with anybody. At the end of the day, you meet someone that's gonna ride for you and you're gonna ride for them. That's it. All that other stuff,
That's the checklist.
that's the checklist.
That's the checklist.
That's it. All that other stuff, it might be nice to have, but at the end of the day, that's all that matters.
Agreed.
Mhm. And that's what I try to tell a lot of guys because this goes both ways. And a lot of dudes feel like height has become this glass ceiling. Like dudes that are under 6 foot feel like they're just out of the game.
Don't I'm not I'm not the girl to have this swaying topic and it's gonna make me look bad.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, everyone has, like I said, everyone has their standards.
You're swaying topics and it's gonna make me look bad. I can't believe you just threw that in there like that. This is
Um,
so good. Like I really like your podcast a lot.
oh, thank you. I appreciate it so much. But I guess what I'm getting at is everyone has their standards, and some people have a red line where, hey, if you're not this, then, maybe we can be friends. Maybe we can be friends with benefits, but we're not going to have a relationship.
Demoted.
Yeah.
Demoted.
And I've had those too. Okay. I got my red lines. I definitely have my red lines. Like for me, I am fine with dating single moms. I mean, I know that there are guys out there that aren't or whatever. And I know of at least one dude that was spitting on his podcast about not dating single moms and then found out that he was a stepdad himself. And I'm not even going to drop his name. But for me, my red line was seeing how you take care of your kids if you are a single mom. If you treat your kids like ass, I don't even want to deal with you. And those are things for me.
Value, integrity, compassion, things that aren't innate. They aren't innate. You would like them to be, but they aren't. And they're really character building blocks.
Exactly. And that's kind of always how I've been. Those are my red lines. They're not really, I don't have a whole lot of physical red lines. I have physical preferences. Absolutely. Everyone does.
Especially men.
Yeah.
Men. Women
Especially
do
men.
too, but especially men.
Especially, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I have my preferences, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm gonna rule someone out just because they don't necessarily meet what I'm looking for.
Right. It goes back to what you said. You don't want to miss out.
Right, exactly. I don't want to miss out on someone who is amazing just because they may not have a physical attribute that I'm attracted to, you know, especially if there's other things. Because if I'm not attracted to you at all, we're not going to be talking.
He's going back into the hoe phase. He's gonna have to slip back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. If I don't find you attracted at all, then, we can be friends or something. But I feel like, okay, if we're talking, I was attracted to something about you. And I'm not going to just dismiss that because you don't have everything that I want. Because I want a whole bunch of different things. And I'm not going to find it all in one person.
Oh, blessing.
Now, I'm not saying that I'm going to go look for it in different people. I'm just saying that, I'm ready to say, okay, yeah, well, I'm gonna do without this, this, and this because that, and that is pretty awesome.
Got you. Weighing it. Pros and cons.
Oh, and at the end of the day, I feel like if the only thing you care about is a woman checking the boxes of what you want, your checklist of what you want in your wife, and you're gonna rule out anyone who doesn't fulfill that, you're probably gonna end up lonely. I mean, that's just the way I see it. And I'm not saying, throw your standards aside completely and
Right.
say that. I'm saying that your standards need to be a little bit more broad. Okay. I'm saying you don't need a specific number like, "Oh, I only want a girl who's had less than 5 partners," because a lot of guys are like that. A lot of guys have a number, and I say, "Screw that number."
Well,
Okay.
how would they even know that they're the girl's number? They wouldn't be in the bedroom with her ever since she was having sex.
A lot of people are dumb as hell, to be honest.
What?
A lot of people and this is why a lot of guys will go on first dates and they don't get second dates because they'll ask those kind of questions on a first date. They'll ask for a body count, like, "How many guys have you been with before me?" And it's like, you know what? Even if her number is below what you consider acceptable, you just said some shit that
Yeah, like who are you to even like first
yeah.
of all, like what is happening? Like who raised these people? You know what my uncle used to tell me to do to guys that would be rude and go about things like that.
Mhm.
You throw them off. You ask them, what's your credit score? What's your social security number? I find that half of the guys don't even know the social security number. Some of them have no types. I had a guy say I don't have a credit score. Of course, you know, you don't date them. But my point is, you don't you don't throw stuff out there unless you're trying to get rid of the person. Like, why would you want to be rude? And there's ways of getting to that answer or getting your clarity that you need without being so rambunctious.
But that's not even a first date question. I don't need to know about the other guys you've been with.
It's an insecure question.
Yeah, it's very insecure. And that's the issue. You're telling them that you're insecure when you ask that question. And
If they're
you're
good, they knew you were insecure before that question.
yeah, and you're also telling them that you see them as a trophy instead of a person, in my opinion.
An end game goal,
Yeah.
something that you want exclusively. And there's a balance, but I just feel like, yeah, don't be rude. Let's not.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like you don't have to get into that kind of business. Not on first date. I mean, if you want to later on in life, then it is what it is. You know, after you've had a point where you can at least mentally feel like, okay, yeah, she's been with more guys that I'm comfortable with, but she has these qualities and maybe it's worth it. I don't know. In my opinion, and to bring it all back, I feel like guys, when you're just looking for a wife, when you got your checklist and when that's all you care about, it's gonna end up not really working out because you're missing out on the things that really matter in a relationship. You know, it's not the checklist, it's not this, that, and the other. You know, at the end of the day, do you love that person or not? And that's it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah. Do you love them? Do they love you? And, if y'all have that real connection, if y'all have that real bond, then none of this other stuff matters. And that's how I feel about it. Well, I think it's about time to wrap this up. I want to thank you again for joining.
Thank you
And
for having me.
I think this has been a amazing conversation. I hope we can do this again sometime. Don't forget to check out L on Foresight Media 33X, FM 33X on YouTube and Station Head. And if you haven't subscribed to my podcast yet, touch grass and wash your ass on YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. Until next time, man, don't spend all your time on the internet, man. Get outside and touch grass. Peace.